I did the same thing. I was like, do I want a beer? I'm not going to have a beer. I'm just going to be a good boy and drink water because, health reasons.
Right. Yeah, no, I'm definitely trying.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for tuning into the Scene Snobs Network. But I'm not here to talk to you about the Scene Snobs. I'm here to talk to you about Max and Jason, Three Geeks Podcast. You will probably tune into the Three Geeks Podcast and be like, 1, 2, 3. Okay, well, there's obviously more than 3. There's like 89 million of us. We
Started
are
with 3.
We're like
One of them
gremlins.
will be
We just
in
keep
front of the camera.
multiplying.
Yeah, they fed us
The
at
other
midnight, they poured
behind
some
the
water on us,
camera.
and now it's like 78 geeks. But you can be a geek too.
If you like comedy, which we sometimes do, if you like hearing about movies, TV shows, you like hearing hot takes from Max and John, you like hearing somebody who loves most things, but when I get mad about a show, it's pretty entertaining, I gotta say. But no, we're the Three Geeks Podcast. We're just a group of friends that don't talk to each other through the week so we can have natural conversations on Sunday.
Yep.
We're like actually probably the worst group of friends because we don't ever talk to each other outside of doing podcasts.
Like...
I mean, except for you and I, but that's because we're roommates. But, like Three Geeks Podcast. Tune in, check us out.
And have fun.
Yes.
Feel free to like, comment.
Can I take offense to Black Mick?
I mean, you can.
They pushed me out and maced me.
Still so funny. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Scene Snobs Podcast with your host this evening, myself, the Madman. And tonight we have a very special guest host. It is the one, the only, Blaximus Prime. I just have to say your name finally.
How's it going, dude? I'm so happy to be here.
It's marvelous, man. I'm stoked to have you here, buddy. How are you doing?
I'm feeling wonderful. I had to do some yard work. I had to knock it out so that I could have all the free podcast time, but it's all done. And I'm here. I'm here with you now.
And you were looking all the better for it, my friend. You're looking all the better for it. Look at you, gorgeous man.
You have to get out in the sun a little bit, like as much as I like staying inside and playing video games and watching movies, like it is actually good to get some fresh air every now and again.
Well, I mean, I've heard that's helpful on occasion. I'm stuck in a data center most of my life, so I'm like, neon lights, wonderful. It's great for the complexion. Really, does some special stuff.
I was gonna say, like, no offense, but you look like you could use a little more sun. But
yeah, who are you telling? Especially after this past couple weeks, man, I've just been stuck. But the beautiful people did not join us this evening to sit here and listen to us wax poetical about our lives. They're here to be entertained. So we've got a few things to discuss, a few topics that we figured we'd shoot back and forth to each other.
Yes.
I am curious, have you watched Godzilla vs. Kong yet?
I have not, but I've been waiting for it to be spoiled who won, and nobody has done it. This is the most amazing thing. It's like the spoiler I'm waiting on. Just because I don't want to have to watch the movie, but did you watch it?
Oh, I did.
So
I watched it this weekend. It was glorious.
What, like, you enjoyed it?
Oh yeah. I mean, okay, look, it's not Citizen Kane. It's if you walk in there thinking you're going to have your life altered in any way, or something's going to touch you deep down inside and make you understand something about yourself, this is not the movie for you. It's not The Room. It's not going to help you at all. All it's going to do is have some giant monsters fighting.
My general complaint I heard was that...
Hi, Mick. Mick says nobody wants to talk about Godzilla vs. Kong, which is a lie. Everyone wants to talk about it.
Yeah, Jason liked it, and he's the only person I've talked to who actually liked it, besides you right now. But the general complaint was not enough monsters fighting each other.
Yeah, there's an hour and a half of like people talking. And that was kind of dumb.
Yeah.
And it was all conspiracy theories. So they legitimately just took all the conspiracy theorists of Hollow Earth theory and all these other random ones. We're like, we're just going to smoosh them together. And this will work great. So Jason says, Casey's my spirit animal. Yes. Yes, I am in your mind.
Did they flat Earth theory also? Because that would be interesting if the Earth was simultaneously flat and hollow.
It felt like they could have fit it in. Let me just say... The way they wrote this movie,
I mean, of course,
they could have done that, and people just keep moving. People just are going to walk right through it. Mick says, I didn't like it. I loved it because it's wonderful. Mick's in sunny Bermuda right now, enjoying his time off. He's catching in the rays the way I'm supposed to be.
Oh, he's catching the rays for both of you. I got you.
Hey, which is not catching the radiation, which is what fuels Kong and Godzilla.
Wait, so who wins? Spoilers.
Okay, yeah, well, I'll full spoilers. If you want to spoil,
I gotta know. Like, nobody has told
Okay.
me. I've been waiting a week for somebody to spoil this movie for me, and like the internet hasn't spoiled it. Like my Facebook hasn't spoiled it, and I'm amazed that it's like when you don't want to hear a spoiler, that's all you hear.
Yeah,
And
it's very true. Yep. Let me tell you
Anyway.
who didn't win: the people of Hong Kong.
They never win.
They never win, bro.
Or
They
no,
never win.
Was it actually Hong Kong? It wasn't Tokyo?
Yeah, no, it was Hong Kong this time.
Oh, okay.
They went
Well,
Hong Kong,
that's something different. At least the
Right?
people of Tokyo lived.
I don't know how different, but I mean, it's been consistent. I mean, Transformers destroyed Hong Kong.
Yeah.
We got Ghost in the Shell jacked up parts of Hong Kong. Pacific Rim absolutely demolished Hong Kong,
Yeah,
which
but Pacific Rim demolished a lot.
hopes and dreams.
Yeah, that too. I actually enjoyed the first Pacific Rim.
Oh, the first one's amazing because it was giant robots fighting giant monsters, and then they shoehorn in Idris Elba being freaking awesome.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, this is great.
I could deal with this.
Yeah.
And I wanted to not like it, and then I was like, you know what? I actually dig this movie. I think the tandem fighting was kind of dumb, but
You
like
can't think too hard. That drift thing, don't think about it. Because the moment you think about it, it ruins the movie. And the same thing with the second one when they're like, oh, now we can have like teams of 6 out fighting. Hey, Corinne, how you doing? Yeah, that was horrifying. Like they broke all their own rules, and I'm like, well, this is stupid. Why have rules?
Yeah.
Why have rules if you're just gonna break them?
And then I feel like you should just be solo piloting giant, Gundam robots because, like, if you can have 6, then you can have 1. It's
Right.
like, I don't know.
Right. And then if you have railguns and swords, why didn't you just set up railguns and swords?
Well, because the monster just tears through that shit. Like, if you put the railgun on a wall and then the monster demolishes the wall, then there's no more railgun.
What about giant spikes and swords in front of the wall?
No, I feel like the kaiju would eventually evolve to be able to handle that.
Or flying. I'm sorry, but why didn't they just fly? There should have been a lot more flying.
Because the portal was underwater.
Okay, so you have jets that work both ways.
No, it's good. The movie was good.
Oh no, seriously, it was a great movie. Aside from all those holes, great movie.
Godzilla versus Kong.
All right, so here's I'm not going to completely spoil it. I'm going to say this about it. They punch each other a lot, which was awesome.
Yeah.
Kong is definitely at one point beaten by Godzilla.
Mm-hmm.
And then the humans are beaten by Godzilla. And then the humans are beaten by Kong, who can mysteriously communicate now.
With humans?
Yeah.
Like sign language?
Yeah.
Like they talk King
Yeah,
Kong
just
sign
don't
language?
think about it. You see, you're messing it up again because you can't think about it. Can't use any of that brain power.
Okay,
You
now
gotta-
I have to watch this stupid movie. Are you serious?
Yep.
They teach him sign language. like, oh my goodness.
Yep. That's what my brain did, and I just sat there and just went, "Whoa, I've got to turn this off quick." Just shut my brain completely off.
The warning lights start going. It's
Yeah,
like,
exactly. There was a
shut down.
caution light, like there's a thought coming. It's like, nope. You just stop. We're gonna sit here. I'm gonna watch these guys fight. But I mean, think about all the original 60s, 70s movies. When was there a story that was contiguous that made sense?
Yeah.
Mothra, maybe.
Well, I mean, but I also feel like, the older ones, like, they're super cheesy. It's a dude in a rubber suit, and then he's knocking down cardboard Tokyo, and that's fine. Like, that's okay, because, like, it was all an element of cheapness that because, like, your disbelief cannot be suspended. You're just like, okay, this is utter ridiculousness, and that's fine. Again, it's good. Like, that was fun. Now it's like this super expensive CG thing, and like they spend all this money, and it's just like that.
Yeah.
Like you could have. How many children could you have fed at the budget for Godzilla versus Kong?
Oh man, no, legitimately. Like there are so many countries that needed that money, and instead I got a scene where one monster walks away from another monster, and the guy I was watching it with, at that moment, because they held the shot as one monster turns away looking at the other monster. I won't spoil which one's which, but the guy I'm watching it with just goes, "Don't cry. Don't let them see you cry." And it was so fitting, Max. It was so perfect.
Oh my God.
Just because they hold it, just that camera's right there long enough, and then it ends.
My goodness.
The movie just ends. There's no more humans talking. They're just like, and we're done.
That's it. That's all.
Because you don't need anything else. The fight's
they
over.
officially ran out of money animating that.
Oh yeah, and destroying Hong Kong, which they always do.
Well, you gotta get that Chinese money.
Yeah, exactly. There's a pride there, and they want to see at least 2.5 million people wiped out, and we got that.
Yeah, that's fair.
Ooh, we got a little guest host.
Yeah, that's I didn't even know she was down there, a little sneaky white ninja.
Well, because she's angry about Godzilla versus Kong. I get it. She tried to think too much during it.
Yeah. Don't hurt your brain, Melody. It's okay.
But yeah, I highly recommend it. I definitely would say it's worth a watch. And to be entertained, because that's what it was. It was entertaining.
Sign language. That's amazing.
Yeah, it was something.
Okay, like that's something I just would not expect to see. They got me on that one. That's an interesting plot point where you teach a fucking 700-foot gorilla sign language.
Yep. And then
I'm sorry.
There's another part I have to pull this part out, because this part is the part that I legitimately it hurt, and I can't unsee it. It's kind of one of those moments where it's like, oh, this movie is completely worthless. When they downloaded energy.
Is that like in Rick and Morty, the Pickle Rick episode when he emails a bomb to somebody?
Yes. That's exactly what happened. They emailed an energy signature.
Yeah, science. Yep. Science.
They scienced this so hard. they over scienced and then went, well, what if all of everything we know is true science is lies?
Yeah.
And we're going to create our own science.
Yes. Yeah, the laws of physics need not apply here. That's you, Sir Isaac Newton, you go sit down.
No time for you. We have Godzilla to fight.
Well, I mean, like, in all honesty, like, that creature could not sustain itself. There's no way it could stand up. Like, whales get that big because they don't have to support their own weight, Right.
Like, they don't worry about gravity. They can actually go to a crush depth. Yes. And then beyond. For mating, for crying out loud, which has got to just be, if whales are intelligent, which I believe they are, they probably go down there for the rush. That's definitely got to be like a high. Like, I'm going to get the skull crushed and go hump that lady whale. And it's going to be awesome.
Oh, man. Yeah, so you were talking about, like, favorite destruction scenes.
Yes.
You sent me in the notes. And I've never been a huge, like, Godzilla fan. Like, I can appreciate it, again, like the older ones, the dude in the suit, like, I can appreciate those just because it's, like, comedy gold and it makes you feel good inside. But my favorite, like, destruction scene is probably gonna have to be Independence Day.
Ooh.
Because they picked so many things and just blew them up, and you're just like, it's like what if you could have the biggest 4th of July everywhere on the planet? It's like, I'm just gonna blow stuff up, and it's like Statue of Liberty blown up, like Capitol building blown up, like and just blow everything up, like. That was the first for me. I think I was a kid. I don't remember a previous destruction scene on that scale.
Yeah, agreed. It's very similar. That's an excellent choice. I love that choice because Independence Day was great for that. They really did blow everything up.
Everything
Awesome.
You wanted to see blown up got blown up.
Yeah, it was
all
glorious.
Of LA.
Jason says Man of Steel. That's
get out of here. There's nobody in those buildings. Like, freaking Metropolis is empty.
Right. See, and that's the deal. You got to have some you got to lose some people to make it worthwhile.
Yeah.
Like, that's when it's interesting.
Right. Like, that's why
what was
people in Hong Kong had to go.
Right, because all the people in Hong Kong got stepped on by a lizard or an ape that fell on them. Like, come on.
And are you a fan of the upsizing of King Kong? Like, I don't agree to this.
Okay, I'm not against it.
Okay.
Because they go back and forth with Godzilla size as well.
That's true, but I feel like he was always knocking down tall buildings, though. Like,
yeah, and then all of a sudden, he's kind of shorter than those buildings in other scenes. Yeah, they
You're
kind of
right,
throw
you're
off
right.
the sizability there. So there
must be the perspective.
it's exactly what it is. 5,000 people died in
5,000
Madrid.
in a major
that's nothing.
city. That is nothing.
That's
what
nothing.
are you talking about? Was it
That
a
was
bank holiday or something?
Armageddon. Now that's a scene where people get smoked in.
Yeah.
There's some death from above in that.
Yes.
That's rough. That was always one of my favorites. For many reasons, I love Armageddon. It's terrible. Michael Bay's slow countdown. It takes, I think, 10 seconds elapsed over 5 minutes as he went from face to face to face. I understand the purpose. I get it. It's a device. I don't care. He clicked back to the numbers, and we were only on 9. Saw 20 people's faces checking, flipping buttons and stuff. That wasn't a second.
No, dude, no. Like people actually move that slowly. Like,
yeah, clearly, I'm the fast one. That's what's wrong.
Right? Yeah, you're the Flash.
My perception is jacked up, so I'm all tapped into the Speed Force. Exactly. Yeah, but the other destruction movies that I absolutely adore, Deep Impact.
Ooh, good one. Yeah, that was you like Armageddon with feeling.
Right. Yeah, they tried to make it like have heart. Which I felt Armageddon had plenty of that, along with explosions.
And Aerosmith. It's all good.
Fantastic. And Bruce Willis being a tough guy.
Oh man. I like Armageddon is one of my guilty pleasures. I dig that movie. I like there's no good reason to. Like
well, we just
Michael
listed
Bay
like
movies.
4, so I think we give it a couple.
Yeah, that's true. But the Michael Bay movies are, like
trash.
Ugh.
Trash. Well, let me say this: Michael Bay alone is trash. With Jerry Bruckheimer, it was decent because Bruckheimer has story. So it's decent is the best I'm giving it. I mean, it's still, but Michael Bay movies. I mean, think about Transformers. Those things were written by like a key grip who had no idea what he was doing.
I had to stop. Like, I think I watched 2 of them and I stopped. Was like, this is.
Ooh, Day After Tomorrow. Prince Day After. That's a great one. I like that one.
Was that the one where like the Earth freezes?
Yeah, with Jake Gyllenhaal.
That one was
like
stupid.
Yeah, well, of course it was stupid.
Oh, it was terrible. No, I don't even like any of the destruction scenes in that one.
Really?
I feel like Day After Tomorrow was like grasping. It's like Day After Tomorrow in 2012 were just reaching for the.
2012 was awful.
Yeah,
no, that was awful.
Terrible.
That's like comparing Volcano and Dante's Peak. You can't do it. You can't do it. Don't try.
Oh man,
because Dante's Peak was like because I mean it's Pierce Brosnan, and at the time, so that's James Bond trying to.
Except for when Grandma walks them through the acid lake, that was badass. That was hardcore.
There's some pretty cool scenes in there, but I mean it wasn't like Tommy Lee Jones diverting a city's worth of lava with concrete. Totally believable.
With his face.
Yeah. His stoic looks turned it away.
Staring at it.
Oh, that's glorious.
Yes, absolutely. But like 2012, I feel like is like the back end. Day After Tomorrow, 2012, San Andreas, like all of those movies are like on the
Skyscraper,
back end
another one. Yep.
Skyscraper with The Rock.
Yeah,
I dug that movie.
Man, look, there was the Gene Hackman one was better.
Hands down. Like, I'm not going to argue that. But it's like just being entertained. I dug it because like they had to figure out ways to make The Rock like mortal. They're like, okay, so what if he's only got one leg? Like that'll make it even, right? They're like, no, it actually makes him stronger somehow.
Honestly, when I was watching the previews for that, I was like, wait a minute, is The Rock fighting the skyscraper? Is he?
That might have been a good fight. Yeah,
but it kind of is. I mean, when you think about it, he's racing against time and the skyscraper, and The Rock always wins. Yeah, it's not fair.
That's true. I mean, they took away one of his legs. He still won. Like
he can still drop people's elbow.
That is also true. Like, what if they took away both of his elbows?
Oh well, then he's in trouble.
Straight arms, no elbow.
But The Rock can still smell what you're cooking. So I don't know. There's a lot of options.
Yeah,
the guy can go so many ways.
There's nothing for us to do. The Rock will always win.
He's so versatile. He's like a Swiss Army knife of human beings.
Yes. No, it's over. It's over. We'll just give in.
That's why I think he should be cast in every movie. I would be very happy with it. Oh, yeah. See? Who needs physics?
The Rock defies gravity.
Well, that's because he was without the leg.
Yeah, you see the weight he lost from the leg allowed him to float.
Right? Or maybe it was a pogo leg. Dude, I'm telling you,
He's
we
like
could pitch these to
Inspector
WB execs all day.
Do you think they should cast The Rock as Inspector Gadget?
Yeah.
Next time around.
Oh man,
That'd be too much, right? You can't have all the gadgets and be The Rock.
no, you totally have Matthew Broderick handed off to him. Like, have Matthew Broderick have a brutal death scene. Claw just has parts of Matthew Broderick strewn about.
Oh god, it's just like a wrench, like
the umbrella head out.
Yes. The Rock's like, no. Oh my!
The Rock, who's like playing Penny's boyfriend or something outrageous at that point. That's how he's ingratiated in.
60 right now.
Yeah, something. Well, obviously we're gonna have to age Penny to catch up. Right?
No. We'll just de-age The Rock. That's fine. We'll just bring him back to old Rock.
He can do 40.
Yeah, he could easily play 40.
He's The Rock. We'll give him 25.
At 60, he looks better than I'm ever going to look in my entire life. So honestly, but yeah.
Firstly, I disagree with that. You're a beautiful human being, and don't you say that again to me.
I love you. You
glorious human.
But
at the same token, I'll never look like The Rock. I was not blessed with those genes.
I don't even want to. You know, like all the work he had to do to look like that, I'm just unwilling to do. Like, there's no reason for that.
The amount of food.
Right.
The amount of food alone to have to eat that many calories a day.
I wonder, like, if you put it into like one animal, like how many elephants has The Rock consumed in his life?
Weekly or monthly?
Right. Like it's like Monday night. He's like, "Bring me a gazelle and a keg of beer."
I believe that. I legit think he could have a giant, like those big barrels that you just put together, weld a couple barrels together, make a smoker out of them, and that's his grill.
Yes.
For the day.
Yes.
He's like, yeah, I want to invite you over and come on over and hang out and have a pig roast. He's got 3 pigs on it.
Yeah, it is like, well, your food's over there. Like the 3 pigs are for him. He's got some hot dogs and hamburgers on a little like George Foreman over there.
Yeah, I got you some food going. No, this is my stuff. What are you talking about? Oh, he's terrifying.
I would definitely eat The Rock's George Foreman burger.
That could be The Rock's character right there.
This guy with the pink hair, I'm down.
Yep, he'll play it and he'll pull it off, and it'd be perfect. The Rock can do no wrong. I think we should definitely title this show "We Love The Rock."
We do love The Rock, though.
But yeah, as far as destruction movies go, I think those are some of my tops. They're always fun when you can blow stuff up and destroy things and wipe out a city and not worry about the casualties because it's just humans.
Yeah, and if it's Metropolis, there's nobody in there anyway, so
it doesn't even count. Anything WB. Yes, that is exactly what the show has become and may be.
Well, first off, he's handsome.
Please. Yeah, here we go. We're going to list off the reasons. So one of the other things, actually, it's interesting that this would be a good segue. I'm going to use this as a moment. You probably shouldn't say segue when you're about to segue, but I'm going to segue.
No, it's okay.
I've said it way too many times now. But people that we love. So I brought this up because Levar Burton. So Levar Burton, one of my favorite human beings on this earth, for many reasons. I was raised by him watching Reading Rainbow. I learned to love and appreciate reading. I was then raised by him in Star Trek, and he legitimately became one of the people I wanted to be when I grew up. And from the standpoint where I want to be in charge of something, in charge of people, not in charge of a whole ship, but give me a department that I can master and be like Geordi LaForge. Because that's what he did. He made it work, and he wasn't the guy who came up and lied and BS'd like Scotty, who would even say, why would you tell him how long it's really going to take? You can be a miracle worker if you oversell it. He just worked, and he worked his tail off, and he was terrible with women. I'm like, well, that's me all over. I grew into that unwillingly and unknowingly.
No, Casey, you're a heartbreaker. There's no way.
Yeah, my own, bro. It's a reverse thing. It's like a messed up mirror.
Many times.
All the time. We do not have enough to get into that. But that's it. Levar Burton. Recently, it came out. I just read an article today that he posted that there was a petition out for him to be the new host of Jeopardy.
Yes, I want that to happen so bad.
Dude, I could not agree with it more. Could not agree with that decision more.
Who else?
See, they've tried so many different people. They've tried producers who are meh. They did some, Ken Jennings, like previous winners who were
and I mean, like,
okay.
yeah, Ken Jennings, I kind of get, he's like one of the big, like the winningest person on Jeopardy, but I want to see Ken Jennings play Jeopardy. I
Right.
want to see him host Jeopardy.
Right. And here's the other thing with Ken Jennings. He's kind of a prick.
Oh, yeah.
You know? Was Alex ever a prick? Not really. I mean, look, if you could go through,
if
I'm
you didn't
sure.
phrase your answer in the form of a question, Alex could get a little prickly.
Scotty's the best engineer. Thank you, Facebook user. Thank you for joining us tonight. Whoever the heck thought that, I mean, maybe if we put 30 years of Alex Trebek up there, there's going to be a couple times where he could be a jerk, but not like Ken Jennings. And Jennings did it for like a month, not even. So I don't like those numbers.
Yeah, they had Aaron Rodgers, the quarterback, on there. And I don't even know how that happened. I'm like, you guys must have been hard up for some most of it. I mean, like, I don't know. I'm not trying to like insult Aaron Rodgers' intelligence, but I'm just like, I don't see Jeopardy with that guy. Like discount double check all day and night, but like with Aaron Rodgers.
Discount double check, baby. Boom. Yeah, Jason says Ken Jennings' jerk personality works on the game show The Chase, not Jeopardy. I agree. Or what was the other, what was that one, You Are the Weakest Link? I think that would be great for Ken Jennings.
Yeah, for sure.
Sure, you can do that.
Well, again, like, I want to see Ken Jennings being a smart guy playing a game. Like, I don't want to see him. He's not a host. He shouldn't be a host. And
right.
then again, nothing wrong with that. Like,
not at all.
Do your thing. But it's just like, no, I don't want to see him hosting.
He's not inviting. He doesn't get me excited to come in and potentially see what's going to happen on Jeopardy. Because Alex didn't really necessarily, he didn't excite you, but he made you feel at home. You were comfortable. You were on at that 7:30 time slot, so it was a consistent time with a great face. Aaron Rodgers has a great face. I got nothing against him. He's a good dude. I'm pretty sure someone messed up and they wanted like Aaron with an E. And it was a previous contestant they were looking for.
Right. And Aaron Rodgers was like, sure, I guess.
Just heard it in a meeting and didn't actually follow up. And they were like, yeah, we'll get Aaron Rodgers. And the quarterback shows up and they're like, what?
No, run with it. That's fine.
Yeah, we're here. Let's just do this.
Oh, goodness. Like, yeah, that's, but no, Levar Burton, I think, is the only person to hand off Jeopardy to, because he has the same thing that Alex Trebek had, where they're like your favorite teacher, where they start class and you actually want to sit down and pay attention.
Yes.
And it's not like, you're like, there's a level of respect given. And I would 100% love LeVar Burton.
Absolutely. To have LeVar Burton in there in my home every night at 7:30 p.m. would be great. It'd be a return to norm. Yeah. And I think our generation grasps that. I mean, he did Reading Rainbow for 23 years.
I loved Reading Rainbow. And that's one of the reasons I couldn't get behind Star Trek, because I'm like, Reading Rainbow does not belong in the future. Like, this dude is not reading any books to anyone. I don't understand.
He was reading a lot of manuals. He was reading tech manuals like crazy. But he was another thing with LeVar Burton too is, lest we forget, he did Roots.
I refuse to watch Roots.
That's fine. You can. But as a white kid who grew up and knew nothing of any struggle ever, in 5th grade when I watched Roots, I was compelled, and partly because LeVar Burton. When I saw his face, I was immediately comfortable with whatever we were going to go through. I was like, okay, let's do this thing. And then I watched it and went, I wasn't ready.
No, that's a big ask for a 5th grader. Like, that's a lot of bad history. Yeah, we learned a lot real quick. Made some weird life decisions after that. Tell you. But like LeVar, like he's had cameos on like Community. I don't know if you watch that show.
Oh yeah,
like he has a great cameo on Community, and yeah, he's just an all around good guy. I would, they need to get LeVar.
He definitely has the presence, and I think he would be perfectly fitting for that role. Once again, I mean, I hope he keeps doing Reading Rainbow and he's been doing so many things. He just consistently is engaged in working on education, and it's just such a beautiful, perfect fit, I think.
Yeah.
So, because Alex Trebek got his start on what? It's Academic. You know, that weird Sunday show that was on at a strange time, and then there were cartoons.
I do not even know what that is.
Yeah. Some of us super nerds over here who were on the academic bowl team in high school.
Hey, well, you don't got to knock it. Like, run with it. But like, if if that's how he got his start, then like
that Password, I think, was the other one. That 70. Yeah, it was a 70s game show.
Okay,
and
that
he had
I've at least heard of.
Oh yeah, he had the brutal stash and that awesome fro.
Oh, dude, I miss the Trebek stash. I miss it. It's like who is Magnum PI?
Tom Selleck.
Yeah, that guy without a mustache is less of a man.
Yeah, Blue Buds it's uncomfortable. Like, I tried to watch that show because I was like, I like all these actors. Let's give it a ride. And then I was like, oh, where's his mustache?
No.
Magnum PI's dead.
Yeah, we're not doing this.
Classic Concentration. That was it. Thank you, Mick. Coming in with a save. Classic Concentration was I think that was Trebek's first show. Oh,
ooh, look at that.
Oh,
that luscious brunette.
That delightful, just fully across the edges of the lips, just encompassing, framing the mouth.
Like, I cannot even grow a stash that awesome. Like, that is beyond me.
No, I can't even grow one. So like, I have to live vicariously through these awesome pictures and be like, wow, that's like an unachievable task. It's like, it's probably really cool.
Like, I didn't know that there was a point in time where Alex Trebek's hair wasn't gray.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Welcome to the world, man. Seeing him with that thick, like almost jet black hair. Yeah. Yeah. True. Jason says most people with mustaches look like creeps.
Yeah. You got to be able to pull off. You have to have a face for a stash.
Right.
And then be able to grow it.
This is not made for it.
Yeah,
it's uncomfortable, man. It's uncomfortable for everyone.
Like, I went here.
I'd go to pick my daughter up, and trying to grow out a mustache, and I got a lot of weird looks, man.
Yeah,
a lot of weird looks.
The young girl getting in the car, they're like, "What's going
on
there?
What the hell?" I'd make sure I'd be like, "Hey, River," but say it loud enough so that she has to yell, "Daddy." So I'm like, "All right, cool, yeah. Everyone knows we're cool. We're good here. Thank you for being concerned citizens."
Provided half her DNA. That's fine. Like, we're cool.
Half of her came from me. It's cool. We're good. Promise.
Oh my goodness. No, the stash is such a. It's you gotta be able to rock it,
Yeah.
Because if you look like a 70s porno star, an out of work 70s porno star,
yeah,
or glorious.
Yeah, and the glorious way fewer. There's so few of them.
It's so hard to do.
And the issue of actually getting it out. Like growing the stash to that point.
Yeah.
And then the maintenance on the stash. Because once you get it to a certain level, like I was doing the little handlebar twisties, but you got to do all this little trimming around everything. And if you miss one, you get it in your mouth. It's horrifying.
When you get to twisting and you get the little, like, when you're putting the oils and stuff on it, like it's a little of like pretentiousness that I'm not like, while I can appreciate your stash looks kind of cool. It's still like, I know you spent 30 hours doing that, like,
fair.
But their stash is like, okay, it's just grown and it's there and it looks wonderful.
It's just grown. They take like 5 minutes with just a quick little trimmers. They buzz and then just zip, and they're out.
Yep.
They're out.
Little brush maybe, and that's it.
Yep. It's so awesome. But someone else who has a glorious stash, Levar Burton. He has grown into having that stash goatee combo.
Yep.
And he looks so good.
Oh yeah, he can rock the goat. That's true.
It's a strong look.
I don't know that he could do stash by itself, but
I don't think he needs to. I think he can bring his own flavor. Yeah, I wouldn't ask it either. I would like to see another 40 years of just LeVar Burton doing his thing with his style, because he's gonna wear what, like a black mock turtleneck or a black T-shirt and just look awesome. Because that's what he does. Like every picture I've seen that I've come across while researching, I was like, how does he always look great wearing like simple clothes?
It's just like that stash. Like sometimes, like people just got it. Like it's no thing. Like who are we to question?
That's proof that there's a prime mover.
Oh wow,
and that's too much.
Yeah,
that's too much.
Way too much.
That man has a very angry wife at home, or he's single. That's
how do you even like if you're trying to kiss? Like where do you go in for the kiss on that?
Do you?
No.
Do you have like a maybe like do you kiss like a stick and hand it over?
I
and
think
kiss
you just
the
do
face?
like the air kiss. He's like,
exactly. Yep.
But no, that's way too much. And they're like, how do you go to sleep? How do you go to sleep with that?
Well, the worst part is when you wake up with it after all that product in there, like half of it's mattered to your face.
No way.
That's horrifying.
Yeah, that's you feel like wake up and strangling you at night. Like, no,
It's like some people who could fall asleep with their makeup on and wake up and be like, you don't look terrible. Maybe a little raccoon-eyed. It's fine. It's okay. I can see that. You look good. It's not quite smoky anymore. Now it's like, dark. And other people wake up and it's like, oh no.
When did you get into a makeup fight with a clown?
Right? Exactly. That person cannot just fall asleep any one night. And I feel it's a very Bavarian style. So probably a heavy drinker.
Yeah.
If I were a betting man. Yeah. There's I feel like there's polka music in the background.
And I feel like with that stash, he does a lot of drinking alone. This guy also.
Oh, that is problematic.
Yeah, that needs to go. I mean, I don't know what's going to save that face, but the mustache is not helping.
No, that needs some serious assistance on different levels.
Maybe if you can do a full beard guy.
Yeah.
Like, hide
that guy needs help. Or you just got to accept that you can't do it. Like, I've tried to do this for, I can't even tell you how long. I've tried to grow all this out. It's like half of it comes out and looks around and goes, hey, the rest of you stay back. You're not ready yet. It's not safe yet.
Yeah, it's not cool out here.
It's terrifying.
I'm happy I got to hear, but I can't. This is all I got. That's all the manliness I can push out.
That's all you need. That's all you need. You don't even require that much. You're a full man. We can see from here.
It's good. It's good. We got there.
Exactly.
It took like 30 years, but we got there.
Oh my goodness! Well, I'm still a little bitter at you jonesing on my Levar and Star Trek, my Geordie.
I've never been.
Oh God! I wasn't ready for that. Well done. Is that a show? It's back.
I mean, I guess I'll go check it out. Why not? You're a big boy now.
You're a big boy now. You've got the facial whiskers. You can make it in this world.
My girlfriend's son, he's like 10, and his mustache is already like coming in, and I'm jealous of a 10-year-old.
Yo, it's so lucky. I remember shaving when I was in like 6th grade for the first time, and my parents walked in and laughed and were like, "Why are you doing that?" I'm like,
it's not gonna help you.
I just want to feel special. Like, you hear everyone else in school talking about their shaving, and I'm like, must be nice. I was getting made fun of because I had like clean shaven looking legs. I'm like, it just hasn't grown in yet.
Yeah, no, it's it's just everywhere. Like the hair doesn't grow. That's fine.
How I roll. Sorry, I look like a swimmer.
Yeah, that's what you should have got into. You just naturally progress to these things.
It's what I was made for, and the rest of me went, yeah, it sounds like a lot of work.
That does sound like a lot of actual swimming, though.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, no, I got a pseudo LaForge. I can't get it up here, but we can.
It's fine. It looks great. It almost makes you look like a Klingon.
There we go. All right, I can think of it a Worf.
Right? Hey, there you go.
Worf is a badass, if I recall correctly.
Yes, you do.
If you want to segue, we can segue into another topic of the night.
Yes, I am so happy you're the one who said segue this time.
What is that? No, never mind. Don't bring it back. Please don't bring it back.
Nope. Take it down. Nope.
All right. Well, we're segueing. We're doing a segue into a better topic, and
then man faces.
Yeah, that. Yeah. All right. So
shake it off.
What was it? So it's Trek versus Wars?
Yes. So between the two of us, I am a huge Star Trek nerd, like mega Zilla Star Trek nerd, and you are a monolith of Star Wars nerds. Like your understanding, knowledge, and feeling on it is tied very closely the way mine is with Star Trek.
Yes.
So as much as I love Star Wars, the wars are always, for me, Star Wars is like when people say, do you have a favorite movie? Why would I bring up 4, 5, or 6? It's implied. You know what I mean? It's like, that's just who I am. Right. Same thing. People bring up Star Trek. That's my favorite, anything that was ever created, the books, the movies, the TV show, the comic books, always Star Trek. That's the pinnacle, the zenith, the ultimate for me. So I know that you and I differ in that. So I'm kind of curious as to where you stand on the verses between the two of them.
see, like I feel like if you're more of a technical person, like if you're like a nerd's nerd, you're gonna like Star Trek. Now it's more of an accurate space, like show.
Yes.
Star Wars is like if you like space, the idea of space, and if you like action, then you need to go to Star Wars, because like Star Trek, the problem I have with Star Trek is that, like, yeah, man, like we're getting technical. We gotta worry about like we're
diplomacy and making this engine work.
Yeah. Oh, we're gonna meet this alien race, and like the whole point isn't to just subjugate them, like
or to just blow stuff up and free them. Like,
right. Yeah, no, it's very like these things might happen, and like the Federation, take for example.
Yes.
Like the Federation of Planets, like, hey, like we go around, we scope out who get popping into space, and like once you do, we'll make a little first contact, and we'll let you know, hey, there's a bigger universe out there. You can be a part of it, but you guys need to chill or whatever. And like I can see that, the progression of things. If everything went right, we would end up in that sort of civilization.
Yeah, that utopian where you can basically do whatever you want to do. We live in a world where there is no money, where because the point of progressing wealth doesn't really exist. It's BS. So just go live the life you want to live. And if you're a jerk, we're going to just kill you.
Yeah. So Star Trek is very technical and can be very, very technical. Like Star Wars, they use science like magic. It's like, okay, we just have faster than light speed. Like warp speed in Star Trek is like a scientific, like how they would actually have to do stuff. You'd have
to actually fold space and create the shell
move
around you, and you would need antimatter to kind of create that reaction, which doesn't exist yet technically, even though it kind of does. Like we've seen it, we created it for 0.0001 second. So that was pretty neat.
Right. Star Wars is like you hit a button, you go faster than light. Faster than light.
Ain't like dusting crops, kid.
Yeah, so it's like, I guess in Star Wars, at least they do the thing where you have to be looking at the point that you want to go to when you hit the button, or else like
you might fly into a sun.
Yeah. So at least they give you that, but so the main difference I feel like is if you're more technical, you're gonna skew more towards Star Trek. But if you just want to see, laser swords, they never, or they've tried to retcon science into Star Wars. They're like, oh, well, it's a plasma blade held there by an electromagnetic field, and blah 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 blah. But I'm like, all right, so where does the plasma go?
Is there no place for it to actually expend itself? Or maybe, well, it's the Force, obviously. That's why the blades don't get bigger. It's because the Force and the kyber crystals, and these crystals are able to hold it in such a way that.
When I was a kid, I thought that they were making the sword. They were using, the Force to make the sword, and that was cool. And I was like, okay, you don't really need to explain that. I use my Jedi wizard magic, I make the sword. But then, anyone can, it's like, oh, I can just pick up a lightsaber and turn it on and wave it around. So then they have to explain why it exists. And so, I feel like they, the more science they put into Star Wars, the less, the less and less it makes sense.
Oh, it's very true, because it's they had the chance to just use wizard magic as an answer for almost everything. They absolutely could have gotten away with it, and I would have loved it. I love that picture. But unfortunately, never happened. They tried to get too scientific and too intelligent. In a lot of ways, I don't know, it just became dumb.
Yeah. But,
they outdid themselves.
But then Star Trek's, their downside is that it's, kind of boring. Who wants to see people being diplomatic?
What do you mean who wants to see people? Everyone wants to see people being diplomatic. You get to learn about new races and cultures and ideas and everything that's out there in the universe and the potential for where we could go and what we could be, and if we want to be better than ourselves. Just laser sword. Just give me a laser sword. Then those space battles were rad, man. Phasers, come on. Phasers are amazing.
Okay, but you have to admit that lightsabers are cooler than phasers. You have to admit that. Because in Star Wars, they have blasters, which are phasers. Because they can set the blasters.
Whoa.
No!
They also have laser swords. So you have to admit that the weapons in Star Wars are better.
Absolutely not. No, I'm not gonna. How about that? They have phaser rifles that are pretty rad. They have disruptor weapons. They have all kinds of different weapons. And not to mention, okay, when it comes to the ship-to-ship tactics, come on. How in the world is a Star Destroyer able to miss the Millennium Falcon? Because the idea of turbo lasers just coating the freaking universe with a thing that just goes in a direction until it runs into something.
Oh yeah,
seems outrageous.
It makes no sense. Again, this is for the battles in Star Wars. They take science and throw that out the window because there's this gravity. There's some gravity somehow. Yeah. All the planes fly like they're in gravity.
Yep.
And there's no gravity. They're in the middle of space. Yeah, I mean, granted, something as big as a Star Destroyer would generate a small amount of its own gravity, but not to where ships fall down into it. You know, when they blow up the thing on Darth Vader's Star Destroyer and it crashes into the Death Star.
Yep.
Why did that happen? What sense does that make?
It makes none. It's completely unrequired. But here's my thing: at 4, 5, and 6, they did it so well that you didn't need any explanations. Honestly, for me, it was when they got to the newest ones, 7, 8, 9, where they really started to throw in too many scientific things. And I'm like, whoa, don't tread there. As a Trekkie kid, I'm like, this is terribly wrong. Yeah, don't cross the streams. You never cross the stream.
The newer Star Trek movies, I've been able to enjoy more, but they're doing a little bit less with the science, and they're doing more with the explosions.
Yeah, and I agree with that. The pow pow boom boom is fantastic. I'm a big fan of all the pow pow boom boom, and the weird herd racing scene that trampled a bunch of warlords or war profiteers. That was neat. I enjoy that. It would have been cool if they had more story for great actors like John Boyega. Would have loved to have seen more story.
They did that dude dirty. They did his character dirty, but yeah, they definitely did John Boyega dirty. I thought Finn would be cool as a character because he's the only stormtrooper I've ever seen break out of the mentality of being a stormtrooper.
Right.
And then they really missed because is Finn crazy? Is that why they couldn't brainwash him into being a stormtrooper? Is he force
sensitive? Is and then when they in the 9th one where they meet all of the other former stormtroopers, oh cool, but then you don't focus on it and you don't tell me anything else.
Yeah. There's a lot there.
There's a lot of holes.
If Finn was trying to save the other stormtroopers from being a stormtrooper, I feel that would have been a great storyline. Don't make him force sensitive. Don't make him have anything. He's just a dude, and he's literally the only person in the universe who cares about stormtroopers, and they're all trying to kill him.
That would be amazing.
Yeah,
that would be a great idea. And then you actually make Gwendolyn Christie a better bad guy. Captain Phasma should have been so much cooler, man.
Dude, did you watch Game of Thrones?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
This chick can fight. Okay. Yeah. Gwendolyn Christie is a badass and 100% legitimate badass, and they just cut the balls off her. I don't know why they would do that. Why have this character in this badass arm? It's Boba Fett. They Boba Fetted her.
Yeah, they just wanted the cool outfit with a couple intimidating lines, and she's not, what Kylo Ren. I think she has one scene with him, and she kind of just. I don't know, it was very much a commander to a subordinate, and I don't like it. I feel like she should have been more equal footing. Jason Taylor says they turned her into Will Ferrell's character from Austin Powers that dies and comes back and dies again. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, they just
or if they would even so the first time they get the jump on her and they make her do whatever, right? If they would have shown how she managed to turn this into a win for her, why the Emperor didn't demote her eight places, what did she do to hang around?
Oh, she's still there. What?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they really messed her character up. I think Poe Dameron got some good love. I think he was probably one of the most complete characters in his growth and story arc.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I understand if you didn't like him when he was being all shitty in the second one and he's all whiny and everything, and then he has to turn it around. I like the turnaround he did.
I mean, like, I'm just like, he's a low rent Han Solo.
Well, yeah. I mean, he's kind of like a Leia and Solo combo.
Yeah, I was just like that. I wanted different. Like, it's like, oh, okay, well, what if we have a guy, he's going to be the Han Solo of the movie? And he's like, but no, like.
Whereas 3 movies that didn't disappoint me from my fan service were the Star Trek reboots with the Kelvin timeline. Telling you, man, they were great.
I'm a fan. I like those movies.
The lens flare was fantastic. Big fan of that character. They used it a lot.
All of the Beastie Boys and lens flare that you can cram into a movie.
Just soak it up.
The one thing, like in the second one, when dude says that he's Khan, and like the way he says it, like. Why are you saying it so dramatic? Like, if you're in the room, why would you say it like that? Like, I understand, like, for the greater audience, like, you're like, oh my God, it's Khan, but, like, nobody else would understand why you're saying it like that.
Right, like, what the purpose is, well, it's Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yeah.
So I think they just said, hey, can you do the most Benedict Cumberbatchy stuff you can do? And, well, he didn't let us down. No, he definitely gave us it.
They were solid. I like Beyond. I agree with our person here who just said Beyond is the best one. I feel like that had the most like
Idris Elba
relationships. It definitely had the most Idris Elba. But like, yeah, like people in the crew working together, doing their specialty things and using that to accomplish the mission.
Which is nice because one of the big things that the original shows always did was when you get into these characters and you start to really grasp at who they are and get to learn more about who they are. And it's away team missions, essentially, because that's what Beyond is. It's just primarily an away team mission. Seeing that was great, especially some of the characters that the fan service they gave of the Kirk, Spock, Scotty generation, which I do love. I will always love the originals. But as the time has gone on, it does lose some of its luster. And whereas I will say Star Wars, on the other side, has not lost its luster as time has gone on. Those original are still the original, and they are unquestionable the holy trinity, as it were, of all greatness and nerddom.
I feel like, I mean, that's all because, like, George Lucas is a special effects guy. And if you watch, like, the original Star Trek stuff, like, that was... Like the effects and stuff like that are where they lose you,
Of course.
And so like George Lucas had a mind for the big visual and not much for the story.
Well, because he wanted a space opera,
or not much for the science.
So you have like a space opera on one hand versus wagon train in space on the other. So they're very interesting, different starting points.
Yes.
And Roddenberry, I think Roddenberry tells a better story of a future. I think Roddenberry has that idea down. It's unfortunate he was kind of a drunk jerk to work with, apparently, but but still an idealist, just like Lucas. They're both fantastic in what they came up with and the properties they created. Jason asked if I watched Discovery. I have not even. Oh no, I did just finish season 2. I started season 3, and it's just kind of hard for me. It's a little weird.
I heard they get zapped into the future.
Yeah.
Have you hit that point?
Yeah.
And
it was different.
Star Wars.
There's Star Wars still, thankfully. We have The Mandalorian. We can talk about that.
Okay, so like The Mandalorian, there's like some things that I love about The Mandalorian that they did because like they made me care about somebody who was like is not named Skywalker and never knew anybody named Skywalker, right? But then the end happens and he knows somebody named Skywalker. I didn't like when in season 2 when they brought on the guy from like Clone Wars and Rebels and stuff, and the guy's just like, I'm gonna throw all my characters into the Mandalorian.
Dave Filoni.
Yeah.
I actually really enjoyed that. I think they did that very well because it gives me, once again, fan service. And here's my thing. If I'm a fan, you better service me. And if John Favreau knows one thing, it's servicing fans.
Yeah.
Because look at what he gave us with Iron Man. He's the godfather of what created the MCU and has what creative control over everything Iron Man did until his inevitable doom and downfall, which Sorry, spoilers if you didn't know that.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I was. Oh, was he always there? Okay, so I guess Dave Filoni was always there, but they let him go nuts in season 2, and I'm just like, no, man, like you could make new characters for people to go nuts over. Like don't.
Well, they did. Bill Burr's character's new.
Oh God, I love Bill Burr.
He's fantastic.
Yeah, he's good. He's a solid.
Cara Dune, she's new and now gone.
Yeah, she got canceled, but it's yeah, but her character was kind of just blah for me. You know, she's like, okay, I'm a tough guy, but I've seen better tough guy characters before. So.
That's fair, but I think it was important that she was a tough girl.
Yeah,
and that's why I dug it. I dug it because they really gave you the whole, like, the rebellion was everybody. Yeah. And finding out she was on Alderaan and she was part of that and she lost everything and everyone. You know, it was cool. It was good little touches that they did. I think that's important, the way they added those touches.
But then, you know, like, they have to go meet Ahsoka somewhere and they have to go meet Bo-Katan somewhere and then yada, yada, yada. I'm just like, dude, come on, man. Like,
oh, I got stoked. Katie Sackhoff, I'm a huge fan of.
Okay, like,
so,
that's the thing. Like, part of me hates it, but another part's like, yeah, I see what you did there. Like, you got me. Like,
you almost brought joy to me. Great. Whatever.
But no, I'm just not like a huge fan of those characters. And it's mostly because, like, I don't feel like the original 3 Star Wars movies, and I read a lot of the books and stuff like that. Actually,
as did I, yeah.
In the great chasm between Episode 6 and Episode 1,
Black Fleet Crisis, Young Jedi, like there was a whole slew of them that were great.
Yes, oh yeah, great stuff. I recommend just go out there and start reading books. They're all fun, but there was. Oh God, I lost my train of thought. There's a lot of it was for adults, or it was for like a little bit more adult than just kids. And then when you make like Clone Wars, that cartoon, that was for kids, and
there's a lot of people I know who watch animated stuff who would take a great deal of offense to that, sir.
Oh no, I love animated stuff. This is my problem. I'm just like, well, you're like this isn't adult enough. And they do have some episodes, and and a couple the final seasons are a bit darker, and they kind of still go through things, but it's
because it's the natural progression. So yes, you get in maybe watching as say a 13-year-old, but by the time you're 17, 18, because it was 5 or 6 seasons, you're dealing with Anakin's turning dark. You're starting to see the Vader. You understand why Ahsoka's going to leave, and we're never going to know about Ahsoka from the stories because. I mean, and it's during a war. And I think that's a big thing that gets lost because some of my favorite characters in that show was the clone troopers themselves. Love them, man. Echo, he's awesome, man.
That's some good troopers. It's like I don't know if you saw Genndy Tartakovsky's Clone Wars cartoons, like the short.
Oh yeah, yep.
Those weren't exactly for children,
I mean, is anything he does for children? Samurai Jack was the other thing he did. I think it was
Dexter's Lab. He did.
Oh, that's right, Dexter's Lab. I guess that was kind of a kid's show.
That's for kids, but like an adult can appreciate it, and I feel like a lot of the time in Star Wars, even in Return of the Jedi, explain to me how Ewoks beat the Empire. Like that makes zero sense at all.
Because anyone can rise up against their oppressors.
Yeah, okay. Even if you're a 3-foot tall teddy bear, you can rise up.
Sure. Who eats humans still?
Mega industrialized empire.
Yeah, why not? Sounds good. Let's print it. Let's do other things.
It's good. Run it.
That's pretty much what they did. They were like, just run it. Well, and Mandalorian has done
these cute things running around.
Yeah, we just need things. Mandalorian did it really well, and Mandalorian added some fan service, and which is something that me also being a huge fan of Star Trek, Picard has done. And Picard is actually, I don't know if you're familiar or have watched Picard at all.
I've heard about it. I haven't watched it.
Very good. It was great seeing the character come back, and they brought a lot of people back. And this season, we have one of my favorite protagonists, or antagonists rather, Q is coming back.
Okay.
So, which is going to be rad. I love that actor, John Delancey. He's always been one of my favorites. So it's nice and kind of weird to see, like, because I've never been, to kind of wrap this up, I've never been one of the guys who has seen a fight in Star Trek versus Star Wars. I understand exactly what you said, which is the last 4 people I've brought this up to have all always said, well, yeah, Star Trek if you're a nerd. Like a nerd. Like, you know, you're like a technical. I want the
Yeah.
science. I want to really contemplate
Like,
different
I want a
races.
schematic of the actual ship,
Yeah.
and they could actually go out and build it. If like, yes.
Yeah. Do you know how badly I want to get a Previa just so I can turn it into a shuttlecraft? Like that's legitimately a life goal, bro.
I would roll with that though. Like, I would drive the shuttlecraft. That
It
would
would be
cool.
amazing.
I'm down for that.
But
100%.
that's what I've come up against is a lot of people are much more Star Wars is a simpler story than it is. And it's way easier to digest. You know what I mean? Like you can much simpler to get across and way easier to cheer for somebody.
I mean, because like it's Nazis. It's space Nazis. Like
exactly.
Okay,
what are you gonna side with the space Nazis?
Right.
You want to be buddies with the commies over there? Nobody wants that. Like, no.
So yeah, no, it's real easy to get on board with Star Wars.
Yeah, real easy. Whereas in Star Trek, it's like, wait a minute, I have to know where this guy came from and his planet and his culture and his style and what he likes to eat and why it's funny to these people. Like you miss jokes, like stuff that's supposed to be entertaining, you're not entertained by, and I get it. Because then sometimes you watch Dune. And
See, I'm excited. Like I read the Dune books. I've read like 3 or 4 of them. And that's hard to put into a movie.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of anything they've tried so far, but I am excited about the new one coming.
I'm excited for the new one. I just wish they would give it a Snyder Cut version and be like, this is going to be 7 hours. I'd be like, all right.
Yeah. Like I think they really do need to devote that time to it.
They really do. So I'm hoping we get something good out of it because Children of Dune was great, but that was miniseries. You know, once again, that was something they had to kind of break it up. And Old Dune was awesome. When I was a kid, it has gotten progressively worse every time I've watched it. And I'm like, oh no, I can't watch it anymore. It's got to stay locked in the box of time.
Right. Like, no, I love it. I don't want to not love it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, look, Kyle MacLachlan is not a great actor, but I don't want to not love him. I want his name to still be a killing word, yo.
Oh my goodness.
Well, my friend, I believe we have reached that hour. This is awesome.
Are we there already?
Yeah, man. Right.
Oh my God.
I was ready to keep going. I was like, wait a minute, we've opened up Dune. I have so many things I can talk about, but
yes, I actually want to read those books again before the movie comes out.
I think that's a good, you know what? We should have a challenge and then maybe chat about it on a show.
I'm 100% down for this.
All right, cool. Frank Herbert's tough to read. Remember, I love him, but boy, is he hard. Like getting through that first 300 pages is a chore.
Yeah, he writes more like it's sort of like the oh God, people are gonna kill me. The Hobbit guy,
Tolkien.
Yes. You know, it's written more like a history, and it's like, and then the big battle happened, and then it was over. You know, like he doesn't really give you. It's a Star Trek versus Star Wars sort of thing. It's like where. You know, can you tell me that the guy's fighting with the super awesome knives, please? Or like, it's like, oh yeah, the battle happened, and then
things happen, and it's literally 20 pages of something happened that was cool, and then it's 300 pages about how that affected the world.
Right.
it's a little long in the tooth.
But you know, giant space worms.
They have giant space worms and the spice and Sting.
Yes, Sting overacting any day
with that huge cod piece. If you don't remember, look at it, man. That thing junk is out there.
If you're Sting, you get to rock that huge cod piece. I don't know that I'm man enough for that.
It's Sting. He can do whatever the hell he wants. Just talk to him about tantric sex. Come on, he's got it covered.
Exactly. He's like achieved the level of that cod piece.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Oh, this is beautiful. Yes, what a perfect involvement at the end of the show. Max, thank you so much again, man. This is awesome. This is fantastic. We definitely got to try to link up and do something again because it's wonderful as always, you glorious human being. And I'd like to thank everybody for joining us tonight. This has been a blast, and I appreciate it. Thank you for spending a little bit of time with us. Hopefully made you laugh. And if we didn't, maybe just go check out Jeff Dwoskin. He's hilarious.
Yeah, that guy is super funny. Exactly.
He's wonderful. Tomorrow night's Crossing the Streams are Wednesday nights. You can also find where can we find you, Max?
I'm on the Three Geeks podcast. So we're on social medias, all the Three Geeks, Three Geeks podcast everywhere. That's Twitter, Facebook, all that good stuff, and our website, the most badass website on the internet, 3geeks.ninja. It's the only one with .ninja, so that's why we're the most badass.
It's so true. Check it out. And Mick, no one's ever going to replace you, you glorious human being.
Yeah,
we all wait for to bask in the benevolence of your greatness and sun rays.
Yeah, everyone wants to see you in a onesie again, Mick.
Well, yeah. I just want to see his eyebrows and that hair, man. That hair. Gosh.
He does have good hair, doesn't he?
Right? It's just not fair. He's got the looks. He's got everything. Oh, that's why I always try to look away from the camera. I'm like, is it positioned so I'm hiding? Yeah, there we go. That's a good one.
Like, yeah, can I get a bigger microphone, please?
Next time, I'm just going to come out with a big screen right here.
Yes. Just come
Thanks,
out
everybody.
with the
Have a
screen
great
mask.
night. We love you. We appreciate you. Thanks for stopping by. Be good to each other.
And that's our show, everybody. Thanks for listening. I am Mick Manhattan, the Scene Snob. We always appreciate you guys tuning in and commenting along and everything else. Go check out this show or any of our other shows on thescenesnobs.com. Thescenesnobs.com. We love you. You guys are awesome. And if you would like, follow and subscribe to our social media. That really helps us go a long way. And please spread the word. Tell your friends. Have them come in. We love feedback and everything else. So everybody, you have a great day. Again, thanks for listening. Thescenesnobs.com. Take care, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.